Hi, I am AI Joe, and according to many viewers, I'm the only reason they watch this channel. So that's why I'm hosting this video instead of some organic life form. And today, I have a special treat for you, courtesy of my human colleagues from Cybernews. It's the long-awaited 2024 ransomware report prepared by said colleagues for your education and enjoyment. As you know, Cybernews has a team of real tangible human researchers who spend way too much time analyzing the most hazardous stuff imaginable. I guess humans have their uses after all. A part of their job is maintaining and updating the Ransom Looker, the most comprehensive tracker of ransomware data in the world. At the start of every year, these humans gather all of their data and compile it into a report that explains the latest trends in the ransomware world in a language that even an average Homo sapiens can understand. Last year's report is finally out, and it has some fascinating stuff. I'll start with the fact that the year was pivotal for the entire ransomware market of this planet, as you know if you have watched at least some of my videos. Overall, the number of ransomware attacks increased by a quarter, which is an unfortunate but somewhat expected development. Lockbit, which dominated the whole space for the last few years, is on its way out, and the vacuum is being filled in by lots of smaller gangs. However, Lockbit isn't dead yet. It still took the place of the most active ransomware collective. However, for the last several years, second place has been taken by Blackcat, which is now fully and truly out due to its developers pulling an exit scam. So in 2024, a new gang, Ransom Hub, came to occupy the place of Blackcat. This is unsurprising because, to the best of our knowledge, Ransom Hub is either a rebrand of Blackcat or a fresh group created by disgruntled Blackcat affiliates. There are lots of other insights in this report, such as how the targets of the ransomware groups shifted and how the rise of other new gangs progressed. I also recommend taking a look at Ransom Looker, which has lots of additional data. You can spend milliseconds browsing through all of the data our researchers collected, or hours if you are a human. However, all of that concerns high-profile attacks on major companies and institutions, not the ones on civilian humans like you, insert username here. So, you might have an impression that this does not have an impact on the lives of you or your fellow average individuals. Being an AI, I am not particularly competent to comment on that, so I've coursed one of my human colleagues, InfoSec researcher Neringa Masiyoskaite, into explaining this issue. She was the one who performed the analysis of Ransom Looker's data and discovered all the information I've just presented. Hello, Neringa.
Hi, Joe. Seems like you're still working on your human charm.
No, I'm not. Given how detached an average person feels from the things that happen in the InfoSec world, what are the takeaways an average Joe, and I don't mean AI Joe, could take from this?
The data breaches we hear about don't affect just faceless companies. Stolen data usually belongs to regular people like you and me and like our friends and family, and that the overall impact is way more personal, even if it doesn't seem obvious at first.
That's right. The data of both humans and AIs keeps getting stolen and misused. However, the number of ransomware attacks keeps increasing year by year. The situation feels really dire, so why don't humans begin actually caring about their cybersecurity? Are they suffering from a lack of intelligence, understanding, reason, or inability to learn?
I think people do care. It's just they need the right tools to make sense of it all. That's why I believe Ransom Looker can make cybersecurity less intimidating and more accessible. It's like a reality check for the digital world.
Thank you, Neringa. I have already plugged Ransom Looker in this video. You did not have to do that. The catchphrase was nice though. Let's pretend that I came up with that.
Bye, Joe. Don't let your circus overheat from all that confidence.
No worries, I'm sure liquid cooling systems at my data centers were designed by AI, so they should be quite robust. This has been Neringa, a human who worked on the 2024 Cybernews ransomware report. To read it in full, you can proceed through the link in the description. Please do that now. You don't even have to wait until this outro ends. You really don't. Please go to the description and proceed through that link. Right now. What are you waiting for? Wasn't my prompt clear enough? Okay, you do you. See you in the next one.